Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we living with week 6 now in the book. Let's do something I do each and every week called the Fantasy Stars of the Week that were mostly unowned. So in order to be eligible to be on here, you had to have been owned in less than 25% of ESPN Fantasy Football weeks heading into the week's games of action. So let's get into it. Each week I highlight one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, and the tight end that were the highest scoring at their positions in fantasy football for those owned in less than 25% of leagues. Let's get into it. Quarterback is Matty Ice. Matt Ryan was owned in 12.7% of fantasy football leagues, ESPN. 2016 MVP threw 58 passes, completing 42 of them for 389 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Colts beat the Jaguars to move over 500 at 3-2-1. Don't look now. Matt Ryan has 3 games this season in which he has thrown for over 350 yards and now has at least 2 touchdown passes in 3 of his last 4 games. One of the running backs, another Colt, Jackson. Jackson went undrafted and is now in his second season. Was his first career start with both Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines out. 12 carries for 42 yards and a touchdown, but where he was really utilized was in the passing game. 10 catches on 10 targets, so PPR leagues, he was absolutely valuable. Had 4 catches the week prior, owned in 23% of ESPN fantasy leagues. Let's see if Jonathan Taylor will be back for the Colts next game. The other running back is Kenyon Drake of the Baltimore Ravens. He was owned on just 3.3% of ESPN leagues. As a Giants fan, I saw him gash and dash all over the Giants defense, although the Giants still won. In just 10 carries, had 119 yards and 1 touchdown. His touchdown run, a huge hole broke out for him, and he sprinted towards daylight. Had just a total of 67 yards rushing entering the game. We didn't see a lot of J.K. Dobbins for much of the second half. It was the Kenyon Drake show, and Drake actually only had 65 yards in the season before week 6. Wide receiver, one of them is Tyquan Thornton, second-round pick of the Patriots this season. Started the year on IR. This was just his second game back. 4 catches for a touchdown. Even got 3 carries for a touchdown as well, playing in 57% of offensive snaps after 42% in the previous game. Seems to have somewhat of a connection with rookie quarterback Bailey Zappi. Will Zappi start next week, or will it be Mac Jones? That remains to be seen. They were also without Nelson Aguilar, and I believe Kendrick Bourne left early. The other wide receiver is another Colt. So 3 Colts on here this week. Paris Campbell. So Campbell just hasn't done much since being drafted in the second round 2019. Only played in 1 game last season. Entering week 6, had just 11 catches on the year without a score. So he scored his first touchdown of the season in the Colts win over the Jaguars in week 6. Was targeted 11 times. We don't know if Matt Ryan will. It's highly unlikely Matt Ryan will throw 58 times a game like he did in week 6, but 3 fantasy relevant wide receivers out of that game for the Colts, as we also had Alec Pierce he had 3 catches for 49 yards and a touchdown, and Michael Pittman 13 catches for 134 yards. Never mind Deion Jackson's 10 receptions as a running back. And the tight end is Daniel Bellinger, 4th round rookie out of Georgia. The New York Giants, of course, do not have a strong group of wide receivers. In spite of that, are 5-1. And Bellinger caught his second touchdown of the season in week 6. He also has a rushing touchdown. So 3 touchdowns on the year. In each of his last 4 games has at least 2 catches. And with tight ends, such a position with such little depth, maybe a guy you like to pick up when your tight end has a bye week. So there you have it. the Week 6 fantasy stars who are mostly unowned. I also forgot to mention Tyquan Thornton owned in just 0.6% of leagues. Paris Campbell owned in just 1%. And Daniel Bellinger just owned in 2.4%. So they came nowhere near the 25% threshold. So what do you guys think? Which of these guys are worth picking up? Do you think Kenyon Drake will continue to get a good share of carries with J.K. Dobbins not off to a great start? We also have Gus Edwards coming off uh, the IR pretty soon, it seems like. I do think Tyquan Thornton could play a role on a New England team that doesn't have a great set of wide receivers. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.